So you should have already done the lesson on the different types of genres. In lesson 2, we're focusing on the characteristics. How do you determine the difference between each type of genre? So what you should be able to do is I can describe the characteristics of each subgenre. The strategy is to make connections to things you already know. If you tell someone you're picking them up and you drive a Toyota, they're going to go outside, they're going to see 3 different Toyotas. You have to tell them and describe to them what kind of Toyota you're driving in order for them to know which one you're in. So the vocabulary, when you look at the word subgenre, you have the prefix sub, which means below. So a subgenre is just a part of the larger piece, the genre. So when we look at nonfiction, we have 8 different types: autobiography, biography, a memoir, and a newspaper. The ones that we see more often in classes, we write essays, sometimes persuasive essays. A feature article is like a magazine article, and then a research report you might do in science or social studies class. So the first type is an autobiography. You see the word auto means self, just like when you give your autograph. So the autobiography is a life account written by that person. You can see Mariah Carey's has written about herself. A memoir is kind of like an autobiography, but it's only one little snapshot. Like if you were to take a picture, one event in your life. The biography is the opposite of autobiography, right? Someone else is writing about you. So when you look at the book and you look at the author, there's a different name, right? We have Greg instead of the woman. The newspapers, right? We have a school newspaper and a regular city newspaper. Feature article, like we said before, it's like a magazine article. Scholastics would be an example of the feature article. You see, its purpose is different from the newspaper, right? It's a description of a place, a person, an idea, or an organization. It's more of like a story within the magazine. The essay, which we all love to write. Persuasive is like an essay, but you're trying to get them to do something. So you also may use a poster or a pamphlet or a speech to try to persuade someone to do something. The research report, right? We just did one in social studies class. You may do it in science class as well. So for our practice exercise, you read 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and you pick the subgenre that it is describing. The genre notes. This is very important because it is a study mechanism. Most of you do not go home, you do not study, you don't know how to. So when we have you write it down on paper first, it's not a time filler, it's not a waste of time, it's actually helping you study. We have visual learners who will learn by seeing it. We have the auditory learners who will learn by hearing them say it out loud. And then the kinesthetic who learns by writing it. So in your notes, you're first going to write down the different types of nonfiction. Here on this slide, we have autobiography, memoir, biography, and newspaper. Feature article, essay, persuasive, and research report. And then when you're done with the notes, you're going to write a paragraph response. This is to check and assess if you understand what you're learning. So either using the rate strategy or just the topic sentence and supporting details, you're going to write a paragraph to explain the difference between the biography and the autobiography.